What if I told you that the future of search, recommendation systems, and AI applications isn't about keywords or exact matches, but about understanding meaning and similarity in ways that traditional databases simply can't handle? Today, we're diving deep into the world of vector databases, the game-changing technology that's powering everything from ChatGPT's memory to Netflix's recommendations. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what vector databases are, but why they're absolutely essential for modern AI applications. So grab your coffee, hit that subscribe button, and let's decode the mystery behind embeddings and vector databases. Before we talk about vector databases, we need to understand their fuel, embeddings. Think of embeddings as a universal translator for computers. Imagine you're trying to teach a computer the difference between dog and cat. You can't just give it the letters D-O-G. Instead, you need to convert these concepts into numbers, specifically arrays of numbers called vectors. Here's a simple example. The word dog might become something like 0.2, 0.8, negative 0.1, 0.5, and 0.3. The word cat might be 0.3, 0.7, negative 0.2, 0.4, and 0.2. Notice how similar they are. That's because dogs and cats are semantically related. But embeddings aren't just for words. We can create embeddings for images, turning a picture of a sunset into a 512-dimensional vector, audio, converting a song into numerical representation, documents, representing entire articles as vectors, even user behavior patterns. Modern embedding models like OpenAI's text embedding ADA002 create 1,536-dimensional vectors. That means every piece of text becomes a point in 1,536-dimensional space. Mind-blowing, right? The magic happens when similar concepts end up close together in this high-dimensional space. It's like creating a map where related ideas are neighbors. Now, here's where things get interesting. Your typical MySQL or PostgreSQL database is amazing for exact matches. If you search for user ID 12345, it'll find it instantly. But what happens when you want to find the most similar vectors to your query? Traditional databases have a meltdown. Let me show you why with a practical example. In a traditional database, finding similar embeddings would require something like this brute force approach, calculating the distance between your query vector and every single vector in your database. For 1 million embeddings, that's 1 million calculations every time you search. The problems are massive. No indexing for similarity search. It's like trying to find books similar to Harry Potter by reading every book in the library. Terrible performance. As your data grows, search time grows proportionally. Memory inefficiency, loading massive vector arrays just to calculate distances. Limited query capabilities. No find top 10 most similar functions. I learned this the hard way when I tried to build a document search system using PostgreSQL. What should have been millisecond searches were taking 30+ seconds with just 100,000 documents. Enter vector databases, the specialized heroes designed specifically for the vector world. Vector databases like Pinecone, Weaviate, Chroma, and Quadrant are purpose-built for one thing: making vector similarity search blazingly fast and incredibly efficient. Think of it this way. If traditional databases are like general practitioners, vector databases are like brain surgeons for similarity search. Here's what makes them special. Optimized indexing algorithms like HNSW and IVF that organize vectors for lightning-fast search. Approximate nearest neighbor search, finding good enough matches in microseconds instead of perfect matches in minutes. Horizontal scaling, handle billions of vectors across multiple machines. Rich metadata filtering, combine vector similarity with traditional filters. Real-time updates. Add, update, or delete vectors without rebuilding entire indexes. Remember my document search nightmare? After switching to Pinecone, those 30-second searches became 50-millisecond searches. That's a 600x improvement. Let's peek under the hood and see how vector databases actually work. The workflow is beautifully elegant. Step 1, embedding generation. Your raw data, whether it's text, images, or audio, gets fed into an embedding model. This could be OpenAI's API, a local sentence BERT model, or even custom embeddings. Step 2, vector storage. These embeddings get stored in the vector database along with any metadata. The database automatically builds optimized indexes in the background. Step 3, query processing. When you search, your query also gets converted to an embedding using the same model. Step 4, similarity search. The vector database uses algorithms like HNSW, hierarchical navigable small world, to quickly find the most similar vectors without checking every single one. Step 5, results with context. You get back not just the similar vectors, but also their metadata, similarity scores, and original content. Here's what this looks like in practice with Pinecone. Notice how clean and simple the API is. That's the power of a specialized tool. The secret sauce is in the indexing algorithms. HNSW creates a multi-layer graph where similar vectors are connected. Instead of checking all million vectors, it might only check a few hundred by following the graph connections. Okay, enough theory. Let's see why tech giants are investing billions in this technology. Netflix uses vector databases to understand not just what you watch, but why you watch it. They create embeddings for viewing patterns, content features, and even the time you pause or rewind. Semantic search revolution. Google's latest search improvements, vector embeddings. Instead of just matching keywords, they understand intent. Search for how to fix a leaky faucet and get results for repairing dripping taps because the embeddings know they mean the same thing. Conversational AI in RAG. ChatGPT, Claude, and every modern AI assistant use vector databases for retrieval augmented generation. They search through vast knowledge bases to find relevant context for your questions. E-commerce and visual search. Pinterest lets you take a photo of a dress and find similar products. Amazon's customers who viewed this also viewed, all powered by vector similarity. Fraud detection. Banks create embeddings of transaction patterns. Unusual patterns that are far from your normal embedding space trigger fraud alerts. Even drug discovery. Pharmaceutical companies use vector databases to find molecular similarities, potentially discovering new medicines by finding compounds with similar vector representations. Let's talk numbers, because that's what matters to developers and businesses. Performance gains. We're talking 100x to 1,000x faster similarity searches. What used to take minutes now takes milliseconds. Cost efficiency. Instead of spinning up massive compute clusters for brute force similarity calculations, vector databases do it with a fraction of the resources. Better user experience, real-time recommendations, instant search results, and more relevant content. Users get what they want before they even think about it. Developer productivity. Simple APIs instead of complex similarity algorithms. Focus on building features, not infrastructure. Infinite scalability. Handle billions of vectors across distributed systems. Scale up without rebuilding your entire search infrastructure. Here's a real example from a startup I consulted for. Their image search went from a 500-line custom similarity algorithm that barely worked to 20 lines of vector database queries that performed 50 times better. Vector databases aren't just a trend, they're the foundation of the AI-powered future we're building right now. We're at an inflection point. Just like relational databases became essential when businesses went digital, vector databases are becoming essential as businesses go intelligent. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, here's your action plan. Number 1, start experimenting with embeddings. OpenAI's API is a great beginning. Number 2, pick a vector database and build a simple similarity search project. Number 3, understand the trade-offs, when to use vector databases versus traditional ones. Number 4, learn about hybrid approaches, combining both for maximum power. I've put together a list of resources in the description, from beginner tutorials to advanced optimization techniques. Some project ideas to get you started. Build a semantic document search for your notes. Create a recommendation system for your favorite movies. Implement a similarity-based duplicate detection system. The future belongs to those who understand not just how to store data, but how to find meaning and connections in that data. Vector databases are your key to that future. If this opened your mind to new possibilities, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into cutting-edge tech. Drop a comment below. What's the first vector database project you want to build? I read every comment and often turn them into full videos. Until next time, keep building the future.